Welcome back and welcome to another episode of
Rousing episode.
OHB, Old Has-Beens Point of View, POV. Just trying to share our life experiences with everybody, old, young, and otherwise. I don't necessarily look, and I'm not necessarily hoping for people to jump on here and tell me I'm right or jump on here and support my particular positions. I'm really more interested in the people out there smart enough to tell me, prove to me how I'm wrong in my opinions or positions. I love to hear from you. Grow a pair and call me out. Let's see what we can get going here. We're back. As you know, I don't ever know what the topic is. You get my initial, genuine, authentic reaction. Russ McGibney here. What's our topic today? What would you like my reaction from?
I'm sorry. Who are you?
Rusty. I'm sorry. They know who I am. You're the one they
you
need
have
to know.
do the whole introduction. That's fine. We had to get our handy dandy little timer going again. Set on 20 minutes. Oops. Yes, we had a little bit away from the microphone. So this week, boys and girls, we're going back to school.
Oh, is there just two? Just two genders? Just boys and girls? Are you pigeonholing yourself? You putting yourself in a corner?
There are more blood types than there are genders.
Well, that's two different topics.
Okay.
So what's your topic?
Let's
start with a topic, a word, a phrase, so they actually don't have to wait 3 minutes into it to find out what the fuck you bringing up.
Tariffs. We are going back to school for tariffs.
God, we'll get him up to speed eventually.
If I would have had another 10 seconds, no, even 5, I would have said the word. We're going back to school to learn tariffs.
Yeah.
So,
something I probably should have had time to be able to research or explore,
but I
only know
didn't want to do that.
I don't, but I don't want to embarrass myself if I'm not completely with full understanding of what I believe they're doing.
Then we may have to do some adjusting.
Okay, but go ahead.
So, I don't know whether you remember.
And this is going to be a link that they can look at?
It's not going to be a link. We're going to embed it into.
Okay, so go ahead.
So I don't know whether. Were you much of a movie person?
A huge movie person.
Okay. Do you remember Ferris Bueller's Day
Sure.
Off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bueller.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bueller.
So this.
Bueller.
So, we'll see if you remember this.
I also remember the car very well.
Okay. Oh yes. What was that?
Red. A Porsche or something.
Porsche?
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been an MG. Might have been a Porsche.
No, it's a Porsche.
Was it a Porsche?
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Here we go.
In 1930,
Oh, there he
the
is.
Republican-controlled House of Representatives,
Can they hear this?
in an effort to
Turn it
alleviate
up.
the effects of the the Great Depression, passed the the tariff bill, the Hawley-Smoot Tariff Act, which raised tariffs in an effort to collect more revenue for the federal government. Did it work? Anyone know the effects? It did not work, and the United States sank deeper into the Great Depression. Today,
Because it started during a depression.
Anyone know what this is, class?
Context.
Anyone seen this before? The Laffer curve. Anyone know what this says? It says that at this point on the revenue curve, you will get exactly the same amount of revenue as at this point. This is very controversial. Does anyone know what Vice President Bush called this in 1980? Anyone? Something DOO economics. Voodoo economics.
Well, comments on the
video?
what the wonderful teachings of
That was a movie.
Mr.
That was
Ben
not
Stein.
a teaching.
I know, but that's what a lot of economists thought about tariffs.
Here's my opinion. We live in the greatest.
Still do.
Live in the greatest country in the world because everybody gets to have an opinion,
Just like us.
and everybody gets to take a side. Mm-hmm. And as our country has grown, I think athletic competitions, NFL, NBA, NHL, all these different things that is unique to America other than soccer, and thankfully. But
probably lacrosse too.
So you've got this inherent call for everybody to pick a boat, and nobody can just be on the same ferry together and try to understand what's happening and try to get there on the same boat. Everybody has to go to the extremes, both ends, to try to outdo or outsmart or outscare or whatever the other side. And I think what you've got is what's really going on is probably somewhere in the middle, which is probably the truth about a lot of things. Okay? That I'm not well educated with tariffs, but the basic common sense to me is the underlying baseline for me, and prove me wrong or tell me I'm wrong. The bottom line to me, the important part of the tariffs is that we're not tariffing ourselves.
True.
Okay, so that's called a tax. So to me, that's different than a tariff. Maybe a form of a tax. You may be able to call it whatever you want. But it's not the tax in the definition that we all grew up with, which is an American tax on our incomes that we share with the federal government for them to be wise enough to spend in
supposedly wise enough, yes.
Okay. So I don't care what they do with tariffs because I don't really care about the Chinese. I'm sorry. I don't really care about the Japanese. I don't really care. I don't really care about anybody besides who lives in America to me. That's just my priority. Now I have moral cares and don't want people to suffer in any country like that from anything. But I don't want my money that I worked for and that I made being taken from me to spend on stupid shit. Okay? So, I would like my taxes brought down.
Yeah, everybody would like to.
But the reason my taxes are up is because baseline, this is not an economics class, just Walmart level understanding, is that the Chinese, when we all heard it, it happened when I was growing up. The Chinese come in and started selling shit for pennies on the dollar of what we made in America. And we had to go through this thing where we said, hey, ignore them, buy American, support your country, buy American. Well, things got economically so challenging in our country at some point, even the most American people in the world are still buying Chinese shit because they can't afford not to. Okay?
Right.
Okay.
I agree with
So,
you.
the bottom line to me is, if you're worried about the tariffs, buy American. Because there's no tariffs on any American product. And the more American you buy, the more money they make, the more successful those companies are, the more people they hire, the more Americans go to work, the more people supporting our country. That is going to solve the overall bigger issue of where I don't trust my Congress people and my government to spend my money well. We could come up with 1,000 examples of condoms being sent here or drag shows being performed there. We can get into the absurdity of it. It's so deep and so extensive that while we're trying to do that right now with Doge, we're trying to cut some of the shit out. It's not going to change our country quick enough. However, if when we go to Walmart, all of a sudden the Chinese option costs more than my American option, I have no reason to buy Chinese anymore. I buy American. Okay? Mm-hmm. So that means that the Chinese, those people and those products are no longer being supported by me. Okay? So if you do that enough, and if you buy American, and American's now the cheaper of the options, America just grows and China just goes down.
Well,
so there's going to be a little bit, you're going to pay a little bit,
But wait a minute. Let's
let me finish it. They're going to pay a little bit more probably for the American product, okay? Because now we didn't put the American product cheaper. We made the Chinese product more expensive. So we may be paying a little bit more, but what we should have been paying to begin with before the Chinese stole all the technology and the intelligence, everything that they wanted to be able to produce and compete with us, that has to be punished somehow. And if we could just pay just a little bit more for the American products, in time, honestly, our taxes could go away. Our taxes could not only go down, they could go away.
Well,
they could disappear and just let the income from the tariffs from all the people who want to import to us, let them pay for all the bullshit that we're spending money on to feed the hungry in Ethiopia. See, that's what I remember when I was a kid. Mm-hmm. The people's starvation in Ethiopia, and they made you feel guilty about it.
Sally Struthers.
Shouldn't throw that plate of food away. There's people starving in Ethiopia.
Well, that's what our moms told us.
Yeah, that's not even what these people today, they even know what any of that shit means. But the truth is, that's where I won't say it's a con, but that's where they learned how to con the American people. Is just tell them sob story, just a heartfelt, bleeding heart. You don't need another order of mashed potatoes when those people don't even have corn to eat. Okay, now they took that to now we need to be able to figure out how to fund transgender people who started out a boy changed to a girl. The government's now trying to pay for them to become a boy again, to figure out how to do that again, and all the shit that goes along with it. We're trying to figure out how to pay for all that in other countries. Mm-hmm. For them. Okay, if they want to do that, dig in. Spend China's tariff money to do it, not my fucking income tax money to do it.
Well, okay, so lots of things to unwrap with what you've said there.
Was I wrong?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't disagree with anything, but the issues of going back into golly, when was the Buy American? Was that the 70s or the 80s? 80s. Really, did Reagan start that or did Clinton start that?
Well, I think if you go back and, I don't know, but if you go back and listen to Clinton's issue position on this is very similar to what Trump's is right now.
True.
Very similar.
But he's the one that opened up NAFTA.
Okay, well, NAFTA got renegotiated, but it was better than nothing at the time. It only
took 40 years to do, but so.
What's your
30.
point? You're losing them.
I'm not. I'm talking.
You're losing me.
So the thing with Buy American, we ended up becoming more that save a penny. Save a dollar.
I think that happened. I don't think that happened how we became. I think that was a necessity. I think our economy, I think people really are uneducated or underestimate the long-term impact that China had on our country and our economy. They were in the long game. Nothing our country was ever set up to do. Our country was set up for 4 or 8 year blocks.
Yes.
Nobody there's playing a long game. They're playing to fucking win today's game. They're not trying to get to the Super Bowl. They're trying to win short-term things. This president today is the first one that's had the fucking balls to go, I'm 80 fucking years old. I don't care about short-term. I'm going to make the sacrifice for the long term. I can't run again. I got nothing to lose. I want to do what's best for our country, my kids, my grandkids. That's the first time our country has ever seen that.
Well, no, Reagan did that.
He didn't have long enough for the long. I mean,
he had 8 straight years.
Yeah, but 8 years don't give you enough. And he didn't have 8 years of Congress with him.
No.
So that eliminates it even more.
It does make it difficult.
So right now, we not only don't have 8-year option, we don't even have a 4-year option. We probably got 2 years.
Oh, yeah. If we lose the midterms.
So the answer to your question is China has the same guy, same philosophy, same shit going on for decades.
Oh,
they play the long game.
But
they're over here destroying us, playing the long game while we're trying to keep up. So I think it was a necessity. I think that undercut our economy, undercut our countries. We don't make steel anymore. I mean,
well, there's some steel produced
but
here,
so
but yeah.
limited and shitty. Ain't the best freaking steel in the world.
No, the Chinese steel is the worst.
Well,
I wouldn't say the worst.
I'm not trying to get into a comparison. I'm telling you, American steel today is not like American steel was. Okay. So all I'm saying is it diluted or diminished the real core of what America was all about. And this is the first time that a president's had the balls. Clinton was just smart enough to work his way through what was dealt to him.
Well,
and he was smart. But today you got somebody that he may be smart. Trump may be a genius. I don't know. He may also just be a good old-fashioned American that believes in our country and believes in the Constitution and believes in our amendments and believes in what we started as and wants us to go back to that.
Well, okay, now
I think this is the first time in my lifetime, I've ever seen this.
Well, let me ask you this. Talking about cheaper goods, what's your opinion on? Do you think the Walmarts of the world really brought the big box stores before?
Killed mom and pop world. Killed Main Street. Killed them.
Well, but Walmart
killed Sips. No, they just did. I mean, our economy. You would have done better if our economy was not so influenced by China during the period you had your business. You'd have had more business. You'd have had more disposable income. You'd have had everybody. Main Street and especially downtown mom and pops would have thrived.
Well, but
where they were forced out of you.
In the era that I had retail from, I started my first business at 21 in 1982. It wasn't until I got into just standard product retail in 91 to where goods, most of what I bought from Wang's out of Memphis, Tennessee, just all over the place, and everything was made in China. China.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
so
that's what
you took, and actually the other thing, during the 90s, I did a lot of light wholesale manufacturing, and I would go to trade shows, and you would find these people that one visit there, the next in 6 months, their whole entire line of stuff that they handcrafted, come up with the ideas and everything.
It's all stolen by China. Intellectual property rights all stolen. It's got to stop. Well, it has to stop.
That's why do you think?
It has to stop.
When we have,
or we won't have a country anymore.
Well, when we have the ability to have tariffs and all these stop things, why? When we have a legitimate American company that has a patent in the U.S. Patent Office, why are we allowing that good to come in here that is
from the last
identical?
podcast we had and the last topic we had flooded into this topic? I mean, I think the answer to your question is obvious.
Oh, I understand. So, but still,
ask it again because I want to give my answer.
So,
ask them.
Why are we allowing, when we have some companies here in the United States with patents, why are we allowing knockoffs to be brought into the United States any way, shape, or form? Whether there's a tariff or not, why are they allowed to come into the United States? That I don't get.
Corruption. It's the same reason congressmen are able to steal money through NGOs and different things. I mean, there's 100 ways they do it. Okay, corruption. It's just corrupt. It's Well, we got to keep our relations good with China. They had a rough go of it. We got to help them get back on their. We don't want the Chinese people to suffer because their leaders.
But we want the American people to suffer.
No. They won't suffer. No,
because the government
they're
will take care of.
They're getting cheaper products. They're not suffering.
Yeah.
Okay.
When that business the
fact is the mom and pops that'll exist in the 80s.
When that small manufacturer goes out of business and the 50 people that he employs who buy the goods from Walmart because they're cheaper, now that's the only thing they're able to buy, not because, I can save money for my family and we can go on vacation and do this and I can get a second car.
I'm going to give you one word that I want you guys to do some research, because this I know I'm right about. The answer to your question is one word. You have any idea what it is?
Stupidity?
Lobbyists.
Okay.
Mom and pops don't have the collective ability to have the economic power to lobby their position. So you've got the big, which I think the internet may be teaching a lesson here soon, but you got the big brick and mortars, the giant Walmarts, the giant people putting all the mom and pops out, because the giant Walmarts have the fucking money and the power to lobby our government to do it this way, do it that way. Don't let that in. Let them do that. It's okay because we get the stuff cheaper. Let them make it. Don't do anything. Don't stop them from making it.
So why
the lobbyists control? It's all the money.
20 minutes.
Money controls. Money controls. Lobbyists control the reason that is. That's got to stop.
Exactly.
Okay, the only way you stop it is you stop the corruption. You stop the people taking the money from the lobbyists to make decisions for the best interest of other countries, the best interest of other people, and go back to prioritizing ourselves. Protectionism? Fuck yeah! I got news for you. Try to come into my house with my family. I gotta protect my fucking house and my space. So what world can anybody live in where they say, hey, my front door is unlocked, just come on in and make yourself something to eat and take a nap on the couch, take a shower, do whatever. Just what brain stupidity would be the second word. What brain capacity, other than greed, other than money, what brain capacity, how low, how dumb or how corrupt or how selfish can you possibly be to say, yeah, I don't care about my family. I don't care about my kids. I don't care about my country. I don't care about our citizens. I'm worried about the other country's citizens.
And have we or have we not witnessed that every time we turn the TV on?
Yeah, but you aren't going to stop until you stop the money. You are not going to stop until you stop the corruption. China is the one that throws the money into the lobbyists to control our government, what decisions our government makes with regard to this stuff.
Well, we have sunshine laws, and I have said forever that there, as far as lobbyists goes, any access to any elected official, or even, I just thought when I said elected official, well, what about the people who work for them? They're not elected. Anybody that works with the government, any lobbyist, the only time that they should be able to connect with them is right on C-SPAN,
personal experience.
Right in front of everybody.
1990, 1991, I took $5,000 cash in a brown paper bag to a guy I'll name nameless for right now, at least for the time being. Took it to him. He brought Hillary Clinton to our business that was almost getting ready to open. The grand opening was set. We'd done most of the work. Brought her physically, did in Cleveland, Ohio, did a newscast. It's documented with me standing in the background. Come in, walk through our place, did a little video thing, her being in Cleveland, the whole deal. And the liquor license that wasn't available to come to us in time all of a sudden appeared out of the blue. Just what happened? Just there it was. You think that didn't have anything to do with the $5,000 in a brown paper bag that I gave to the fucking guy who wanted to use my business for political purposes.
Well, it probably went to Catholic charities.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. Yeah, I'm sure it did. But if a peon like me has experienced this, imagine the people with the real money. Yeah. You don't campaign for stuff. You don't go. You just get out the cash, dude. You just get the money out.
I know.
That's all you do.
Money makes the world go round.
So until our country stops the bullshit with sunshine laws, yeah, there they are. Oh, yep, they did it. Oh, yep, they're guilty. You shouldn't do that anymore. Let's go on to something else. Until they start prosecuting people, holding people accountable for the corruption, our government is going to continue to struggle. So, since that would be like a seemingly overwhelming endeavor, fuck that. I got a different way of dealing with this. You guys just do whatever you want. I don't care, because I'm just going to tax the other side so much fucking money they won't even be able to come into our country. But you guys go ahead and do whatever you're doing. Don't mind me. He just, unless Pam Bondi turns out to be what I hope she's capable of being and starts prosecuting people, all Trump's doing is going around the bullshit and putting a stop to it. It's kind of like your kid sneaking in your liquor cabinet and drinking the vodka and filling it back up with water, and then you go do a shot and you fucking water. What's going? And then you figure out a different way to keep your kid from getting in the liquor cabinet, getting in the liquor. Now, let him get in the liquor cabinet, because it's all fucking water and brown sugar. There ain't a drop of liquor anywhere, but you guys go to it. You have all the fun you want. I'm just going directly to the problem and shutting it down. And that's what he's doing.
He hasn't gotten to that yet.
He has. Did you see the stock market day before yesterday?
Well, that's
come on. That tells it all.
That's exactly why That's why I wanted you to watch that video clip.
Tells it all.
Where Ben Stein is saying that tariffs don't work. Well, bullcrap.
No, wait a minute. I think he was right in what he said. Listen.
Okay, yes, it did happen during the Depression.
Again, I'm not an economist. I'm not a smart guy. Okay, but the circumstances were very different in the middle of a Depression.
Exactly.
And there are a multitude. I mean, I don't know them all. Educate me. But there's a multitude of different types of tariffs.
Yes.
And a multitude of ways of enforcing tariffs.
Right.
Okay. We're not just putting a tariff. Anything that comes into our country from anybody is this. That's not what we're doing.
Right.
We're nothing off the rack. We're customizing for every country. If we want to take into consideration, who's that little country that makes all the chips that we need that China wants to take?
Taiwan.
Oh, that little country. So if we want to be more favorable to Taiwan, because there's an economic advantage to having them free of China and making the chips and do it, then we can have a tariff that's unique to them. Maybe not as bad on them, because we want them to flourish. Maybe if there is a country where their people aren't eaten.
Or we lower their tariffs if they come to the United States and build some chip plants.
That's what he's doing to the rest of them. He's not making Taiwan send somebody over here. He's making other businesses that are in the big countries that don't belong there saying, get your ass out of China, get your ass out of Mexico, get back to America, because you're not going to make the money you're going to make back here if you stay there.
Right.
And here's and unique to them, unique to even not only that country, but people are so lazy. Do some reading. Not only unique to each country, but unique to each industry within that country. Mexico, the auto industry in Mexico may be tariff different than the healthcare industry in Mexico.
Right.
It's all, nobody even, in the fucking 80s, they didn't even know what that concept even looked like. It was just tariffs, man. It was a tariff on that country. Go back and look.
Milton Friedman was pretty darn smart on...
But it was nowhere anything even, prove me wrong, any remotely close to taking on 180 countries and doing, if you did 10 different, let's say you do 5 different industries in each country, uniquely different in each country, that's 10,000 different tariffs. It's going to take a little bit to negotiate this and write them.
I think we probably did have a lot of those type things because, you know, we could import, you know, fruit from Africa.
You're sitting in a fruit and vegetable building that ran right down this railroad track. Who cares? You're missing the boat. Okay? Listen, it's like if you had a family and despite not having any kids, you were a kid. You know what a family's about. You know what. Could you imagine your dad coming home? Yeah, this would go over well in your household. So could you imagine your dad coming home, because he never would, coming home and saying, you know what? A nice big roast here for the family, but, you know, the neighbors, they don't look like they're doing so well, so grab a little piece off of there. I'm taking the rest of the roast to the neighbor next door.
And we've done that.
Yeah, not eating it yourself. You haven't done that. Your belly was full.
Well, true. Yes.
I'm talking about, could you imagine coming home and your mom and dad going, doesn't that look good? Yeah, I'm taking it over to the neighbors. Okay, that's our country. Our country doesn't take care of our family and it doesn't take care of us anymore. We spend too much money elsewhere in other countries for bleeding heart issues. And then you want to argue and fight with me about Social Security?
Okay.
What Social Security should be first on the motherfucking list? It's our money.
Right.
Okay. So that should be, none of that money should be being used anywhere for anything for anybody. That'd be like your dad saying, yeah, mom has to quit her job. We're not going to have enough money we're going to have to cut back because we had to sell her car. We had to give her car away to the neighbor because they needed a car to get to work.
And what president put that into the general fund?
Put what into the general fund?
The Social Security?
1940 what?
No. Which it was private that you couldn't touch it.
I don't know. I don't know who put it into the general.
Jimmy Carter.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, great guy, wonderful human being. Would have done anything I could do for the guy to make his life more comfortable, whatever. He's a great guy, but just had the wrong intellect understanding of the big world economic picture to understand that you can't take care of the whole world.
Well,
globalism.
I
just got to stop.
I think he probably had the wrong
globalism.
Had the wrong.
Is that allowed
cabinet people?
On
it's a private. They have to tune in. You know, of course, I don't know how many more subscribers we'll get because of that.
Do you think that's going to run somebody off? It's going to run the globalism people off.
I don't.
Unless they want to fight me and argue with me and tell me I'm wrong, then I hope they subscribe.
I don't think we'll get Gary and Brenda Kesey watching because of your actions.
I don't get it. Now help me understand.
The pastor and the pastor's wife, I don't think we'll get them to.
I think the pastor and the pastor's wife, whoever they are, generally speaking, pastors and pastor wives, will do anything the money takes them to. That's my opinion.
So somebody's got to pay them to watch our videos.
I think that if there's a benefit to them somehow, they'd sit here with us as a guest. If that would benefit them somehow. And I'm already on the record defending her. I'm already on the record saying that she shouldn't be held accountable for something that her son in his 30s did. I don't necessarily. If we live in a world that's so brittle and so offended by America. I mean, that's American, baby. You don't see them doing that in China. If they do, they learned it from us. Okay? If you're offended by the American way, maybe this ain't the right country for you.
Okay.
And there's a lot of options.
All right, takeaway.
And I would like to buy a ticket for anybody that wants to leave. I'll buy your ticket. I don't care where it goes. I don't care how much it costs. Subscribe. Tell me where you want to go. One-way ticket, I'm
I
buying.
gotta say, you guys stay there.
One-way ticket, I'm buying.
Well, I know, but if they sneak back into the country,
Oh, no, that wouldn't be allowed.
oh, there you go.
Okay.
Okay. Wrap it up. Let's hear what's
Man,
your
way
final.
too short for
what's
me.
What's your final? We're going through these. This is fun. I like this.
Yeah, okay, I don't know. I mean,
Final thoughts. Tariffs.
I
we
think
we
John-
watched Ben Stein.
I think
the economist Ben Stein.
I think probably what he said was probably true. It was probably accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it applies to today.
Okay, yeah, because of just how much the stock market went up in one day.
Yeah, that's
from
all
putting
corrupt
the
too.
pause.
It's all corrupt too.
Well, of course,
It's all corrupt.
I mean, when you
Ask
another
Nancy Pelosi.
another podcast, but when you have
No, we should do that one for sure.
BlackRock, being
BlackRock didn't even exist 20 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Today they
It exists for a reason.
They control the largest group of wealth in the world, and
Globalism.
and they if they want to
globalism.
fart,
I would love to hear. I would love somebody to educate me on why globalism is good for my children in America. I'll take just give me a morsel, anything. Just give me one. What is it?
well, okay, so
They want my kids to not eat, so the kids in Ethiopia can't eat. Is that what tell me what it is.
it is
It's
a topic
corruption.
for a next.
It's money. It's money.
for a next
It's all
podcast.
money. That money. How much? I don't know. Don't have a clue. And if I said I did, you know I'd be lying. Nobody does. How much money do you think went to Ukraine from the United States of America? How much of that money that went over there? What percentage of that money do you think made its way back to people here?
Out of what would we spend? 219 billion.
Oh, it's more than that now. But go
Really?
ahead.
Even 10%.
Just a percentage. That's what I said. Don't give me no.
Even 10%
Half.
would be.
I bet you half. I bet you half. That's why, for me, send them all, if you want to be there, send them all the fucking ammo, all the equipment, all the jets, all the tanks, all the shit. You want to play in the dirt? Here you go. Don't spend them a fucking penny. What do they need cash for? If they want,
They got to pay the troops.
huh?
What do you mean, huh?
Well, that's their troops,
Right.
not ours.
I
We're not
understand.
fighting Russia.
I understand.
Why do we have to pay
They
the
have
troops?
to have money to pay the troops, or else they'll just walk off.
Yeah, well, how'd they pay before? How did they pay their army before this?
Well, it wasn't meant to go on for as long as it has.
Before this. How'd they pay their army before this? Were we paying them then too?
No.
Okay, so what the fuck's the difference?
Well, the government funds
No, they
things.
decided to go to war. They
Well-
decided to fight a war, not us.
Trust me, I understand.
Okay.
But
No
topic-
cash. No
topic-
cash. Let Europe give them cash. Europe loaned them their money. We didn't even loan them. We just gave it to them. No accountability. Don't tell us what you did
Well,
with
I know.
it. Don't worry about it.
There's 100 billion missing.
Okay, so explain to me why.
On the next podcast. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you tuning in. And
I
we're
wish
gonna go-
somebody would subscribe and tell me what I'm wrong about. Because so far I've been 100% right on every podcast.
Well,
Nobody, not one person has told me one thing I'm wrong about. Not one.
I do all the time.
No, not one subscriber. You don't tell me anything I'm wrong. Anything that you say to me is an argument that you lose.
Oh, Polly.
Name one you've won.
The light bulb down in
Okay, I give you that one. You won with the light bulb.
All right. So thank you very much for tuning in to
Peace, I'm all
our
for it. No more war.
abbreviated runneth over podcasts, and like, share, subscribe.
I just want some comments, man. I just want somebody to argue with me.
Be careful what you wish for.
No, I bring it on. Let's
Nancy
go.
Pelosi will be
Nancy, come on, let's go.
Okay. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. See you next time.